I've been coming into some information for a minute, more than just a little while. Um, so I kind of don't like want to give it the whole rundown again, but I'm going to try to make a functional point, I guess. We're Wizard of Oz, Lord of the Rings, and the Neverending Story um, is closely correlated to some history that they're trying to reveal through telling us these movies. And then the rest of it is like savagery. But you can't get into this information from contentious spheres because it's too uh, it could the meaning could be lost if it wasn't kept, if you don't keep it out of contentious spheres to try to lash out for being savaged, to try to lash back out for being savaged, because you can lose the meaning. Keep in mind, right, that this is going into the tech boom in a couple of different avenues. The Djed, right? This stablecoin, the Djed, right? If you know what the Djed is, then you would think that Charles Hodgkinson should have just waited until he came up with something that was going to replace all stablecoins. And I'm not being cocky. Given that if you mix paganism, like you mix pagan, right, with something that's messianic, it'll drive you crazy. It'll drive you crazy. They're not going to touch anything messianic, right? It's all about dark crystal, energy crystals. So it looks like they're going for the pagan elementals and of course they wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like that would just be like appalling, you know. It's easy for them to do with the Djed, you know. It's like choosing noble gas instead of the uncreated light, you know. Because, you know, the Djed and orgone and noble gas, that's Atlantis build. And that's science, that's in the alchemy, so that's alchemy stuff, right? So here's a bit of correlation. It's crazy. It's a hell of a correlation. But Tiamat harnessed the mares of Diocetes, right? Like Terra had two bulls. She would grab the bulls by the horns and flip over and land riding on their backs. The astonishment of everybody for feats of accolade. It's not important to say that thing. Oh, this is going on, right? Who cares about all that? what does a Dyson sphere try to do? What does a chain of proteins with no cell mass try to do when it can't create the energy to replicate itself? If it's a virus, it would take advantage of the cell when it's vulnerable, which is like horizontal, like sleeping. It's a redirect program, upgrade, redirect, right? Reboot. When you reboot, then now the cell replicates another program. Dominion is a form of inhabitant, right? Inhabiting. You don't. If you already understand what domain or dominion means, and you didn't ever hear the word dominion, you wouldn't want to really hear about it, because it would be like suggesting a form of inhabiting, which could be a threat because you already inhabit. Right? And DNA is how you occupy. Gaining the genome, right? Gaining on the genome, they're trying to insert new coordinates on a Stargate. They're trying to put new coordinates on the Stargate, but instead of those coordinates, they're trying to build out the Dyson sphere with the proteins that is going to open up the monster. Yeah. And again, they wanted to study a solar bolt like Higgs boson on the Devachanic plane, and they use machine parts like to cause it to happen, right? Or model Kundalini rising and come up with a hovercraft. You know, I would take. It's not about taking. It's about what is well, that which could be used for good or evil. It's not really a problem until somebody says that because it could be used for good or evil, they have to be the ones to make sure that it can't be used for evil, and that they're going to only make sure that everything's used for good. Then you got a problem. All right.